We gotta go live on Angel and Patty on YouTube. Almost. No. Good morning, Natalie. Sure, my volume's up.
Good morning, everyone.
My volume is up. I heard you.
I just realized I was still muted. Good morning, everyone. Yikes. More coffee.
I was wondering you weren't answering me, Natalie. It's like, what the heck?
No, because it's, you know how it happens every time I do the Zoom update, it goes back to default settings. So,
Hey, what's going
While
on
we
here?
have some time, someone asked me how we submit a deal, so let me go ahead and share really quick. If you go to the listingagent.info, which is our website, and you go to members, submit a deal. So top right corner, members, submit a deal. And then you'll go ahead and put all your information on here and submit it, and then we'll all get notified so we can go ahead and review details, and then we'll go ahead and reach out with you with an update.
awesome.
Hey, Lily, I'm trying to go live, but you know how usually, oh, there it is. It's a delay on my end. How we flip. Give us a moment, Natalie. We're letting everybody log on. We got 20 people. It's early, so they all have to go get some coffee. And I'm sluggish because I was at the Rams game yesterday. And not because I was at the game, it's because my three grandkids went with us, and I was carrying at least one of them the whole time. So my body's aching from carrying them.
They're heavy.
Oh my God.
Even the even the little one, she's heavy.
Yeah.
She's like two. She's going to
Well,
be two.
anything is heavy when you have to carry, you women, when you carry your purses, I have no clue how you manage to do that and carry, 5, 10 pounds on your side of your arm all the time. I used to carry my computer bag and it threw my back out. So now I use it on a roller like a little old man. So what the heck? All right. So, okay, yeah, we got 20 people on, so I think we'll get started. Let me see. Hmm. I really expected this class to have at least 50 people. So they're probably going to come along late. I hope I gave the right link because this is not normal. I never only see 20. So I'm going to say good morning to Elizabeth, Joe, Tony, Rudy, Cheryl, Vidal. Uh, let's see. Well, they're starting to come in. All of a sudden it jumped to four. I know what it is. Lily, are you barely letting him in? Is that what it
Yeah.
was? Oh, okay. Then it was Lily's fault. They were all in the waiting room.
You're
No.
Be
echoing.
quiet. Say again?
You're echoing a little bit.
Is that me? Oh, you know why? Is it this? Is it because I'm live? Ah, shit. You know what it is? I'm gonna leave and I'm not going to. I'll be back. Lily, you got this?
Yeah.
Lily's taking over.
Yes. Does anybody have any wins?
It's still echoing with you though, too.
It is?
Even with me.
Not on my end, it's not.
Hello? Am I echo?
Yeah, you have an echo.
Not on my end.
Man,
I
Angel
think
always
everyone
does
has an echo.
that. He always does that. I think we're gonna have to all log out, log back in.
No way.
He did that last time.
I'm back. Damn it, where's that coming from?
Angel, you always do this. I think we're all gonna have to log out, log back in. Am I still echoing? No?
You're not, I am, but it's what it is.
No.
It's every
No, we're good.
sometimes while
No, you're not echoing anymore.
I stopped.
Yeah.
All right, let's get the show on the
All
road.
right, let's get started. Thank you. Okay. Lily, should I go live on Instagram? Do you want to handle it or do we just not do it today?
Yeah, we can.
Let me see. All right, now I'm gonna invite you, Lily. Miss Ibarra. Or is it the realtor now?
Missy Barham. We're still growing.
Miss Ibarra. I could never find you, Lily. Oh, I know why. I always do MR. Miss Ibarra, number 17.
Mm-hmm.
You're invited, Lily. Okay, everybody, let's get started. So let me share my screen with everybody here real quick. I'm glad you guys are here. I'm going to show you how we flip properties and how you guys are going to make that extra money. Okay. So recap, everybody. I list, I flip. You guys know this, and I host. So I've been hosting a lot. Okay. And I created this community because you guys, somebody asked, how do I submit deals to you guys? So everybody has partners. You are my partners. And if we find something, I'll be able to flip with you if it's a good deal. Okay. Here's what we cover, just to make sure you all know what we do. On Mondays, we always cover how to capture leads. And it all starts with right now cash offers, right? And they convert into normal listings. We use the buy before you sell program, which I'm going to cover next week. There's systems that I utilize to capture leads over and over and over. And I'm pretty consistent. You guys are going to be getting the same system. I said that wrong. You guys should be capturing leads too. Every lead that comes in when you're an open house, when you run a Google ad, anything you do is a lead that goes into your CRM. On Mondays, what I show you is honestly, I can show you how to get leads, right? And many of you that I've spoken to and you've been with me for a long time or you're fresh, I tell you, and many people tell us what to do, but we don't do it right. You know, like me, I work out. I've been working out for a long time and I just realized I've been doing it wrong for 20 years. So the guy that I got training me, finally I decided, okay, I need somebody to show me. He showed me and I'm getting results faster. That's what the implementation is. If you need some help, I'm here. Call me directly and I'll show you what you need to do to pick up your business right away. And I've met with a lot of you and I've looked at your business. By the way, some of you had it really good and some of you did not. Your setup on how you run your business. On Wednesdays, to me, this is important, everybody. On Wednesdays is yes, we can get you leads like crazy. You can show up, you can see the people, but in the end, if you don't present well, you're not going to get that opportunity. We just listed one. It's going to go on the market. I got my crew in there. We're fixing it. And I'm making it look like it's a flip, but no, it's not. It's we listed it for 1,075,000, a house with the view. We just listed one in Santa Fe Springs that's going live tomorrow. The one on Right On is going live on next week on Wednesday. But it's a good story because I'm able to have it staged, and the client's paying for everything. I'm not. Okay. So bottom line, what I'm trying to tell you is Wednesdays is the class that for those of you can make it. If you can't make it, look at the recording because that's where you're going to make your money. That's how you're going to become wealthy. That's how you're going to be able to get listings and buy real estate and do some flip opportunities. Okay. And that's what I show you on Wednesdays. On Thursdays, what we do is the technical class. That's where Mark is, and he can handle. Mark is me. Okay, Mark is me, except the only difference is Mark sits down with you and walks you through all the things that you need to do to convert it into money. I'm the one that shows you how to talk to the client. He's the one that shows you how to put the stuff in place. All right. I show you the net sheet. He shows you the backside, how to run your CRM and do everything else that you need to do. Very important. Let me break it down a little bit differently, guys. I need this to make sense to you guys. There's 42 of you. Yeah, Natalie, there's 7 show. Yeah, okay. So, and then as we go on, we get a couple more people. Guys, this is what I mean by implementation. All right. Part one, leads. I have Natalie here. She's going to explain to you how we get 100% financing. Every time I go to one of these appointments, I start off with the cash offer because I don't want them to get, there's so many ads right now. Somebody else is going to steal them from you. And I don't want that to happen. So they don't steal them from me. So I'm going to show you how to find leads. Okay. But when you get these leads, then comes what do you say? Well, you told me you had a cash offer and you can't get out of it. And that's what happens to a lot of you. And then they list with someone else. Okay. So I show you the script, the conversation that I utilize, and we're very successful with it. I think so far this month, I think we've gone to about 17 listing appointments, and I'll show them to you. We've listed four of those so far, and the rest go into our portal where we follow up. Okay, so I got the script down. Next part. Now you got to meet with them and have them trust you. And this is where the majority of you have the seller's net sheet. That net sheet is gold. One of my youngest guys here, as we talked to you about him, he is one of the ones that I could put on the pedestal. He's only 20 years old. He's going to make $250,000 this year, right? And all because he is listening to what I'm telling him to do. Now, I was just talking to him. He's ready to flip. I hope he's on here today, but he's ready to flip because he's got money on the side. I can take that $200,000 that he has. Okay. Of course, he's got to pay his taxes. But if he takes 75 to $100,000 of that money, puts it back into his business, that can give him an extra 30 to $40,000 every 3 months. Okay. Or every 4 months, depending on what it's going to do. And this is what the salary that she does for you. And then the listing presentation, guys. Yes, you present numbers, but now you have to present value for them to choose you as your realtor. Lily, you there?
Yes, sir.
Did I explain this? Was I clear? Tell me, because you speak angel and Natalie, she speaks angel language. So sometimes I talk so fast, I don't know if I'm making sense. So do you want to recap on what I just said, Lily?
Yes, so moral of the story is on our implementation program, what you get is how to generate seller leads, the tools and the technology that we set up for you, the training and the coaching. You even get a one-on-one with Angel to revisit your whole business and give you some feedback. And you get the community and the support. So if we don't have the answers, the community definitely does. So this is a partnership here, you guys, and let's show them.
Hey, Natalie, you got six more people that joined us this morning. So they're starting to come in. But just to remind Natalie, I'm a realtor, but I'm also an investor, right? I had no clue when I ran into you the other day and you were saying, Andrew, you're one of the first ones to get 100% financing. I gotta tell you, I felt so special. I hear that a lot and a lot of stuff, but at this level, I never expected it. Then she said something else to me. Angel, you make your payments. I said, what? Doesn't everybody make their payments? She goes, so I make my payments, but
And you
let
pay
me
off
tell
your loans in time. There's a combination of the two. It's like a lender's pet peeve to go chase a payment and to deal with an extension. So that's a private money lender, same thing. It's such a pain, right? Who likes chasing money? Like who likes telling, you lend your brother or sister your parents money or whoever, and you have to follow up to get paid back. Who likes doing that? Who likes being the person to follow up on dinner? Nobody likes doing that, right?
no, no. As a matter of fact, now that you mentioned I have a renter who hasn't paid me rent.
Or
So,
rents.
and we got to chase them. Screw that. By the way, I delegate that. I just gave it to the eviction attorney, let him handle it. And by the way, Natalie, honestly, I'm not the one that makes the appointments. Everybody, the payments here. It's one of my team members, which is my partner, which is actually my son. He's the one that created the system and makes sure we pay on time. But I want to share with everybody here. I'm a realtor, just like all of you. Natalie knows this, but these are all the components in my business. And every Tuesday well, now it's Mondays temporarily. Every Monday we cover one of them. Today we're going to do how I flip right now, and we're using 100% of somebody else's money, right? And then at 10:15, who's new here right now? In the chat, tell me who's new, who's fresh, who's never seen me, or who's never been in one of our classes. Because if you're new, I'm going to invite you to my implementation class at 10:15. Okay. That's my social media. I just created a whole new system. I've never tapped into social media. I've never profited. I think I'm at 170,000 views this month in the last 30 days, and I never had a hook and a call to action. I'm tweaking it now, and I'm getting business from social media. By the way, some of it is ugly and some of it is pretty, but we're realtors, we have to have a thick skin. So these are the two classes. Lily, look in the chat to see who's fresh, who's new, and then send them the link for my 1015 class. Not our current members that are just monthly members, just those that are fresh and new that are here. I want them to get a taste of what it is that we do in the implementation class. All right. Okay, so whoever's new, raise your hand. Let Lily know. Do we have anybody who's new, or is everybody just they're all members? Lily.
We have some new people.
Okay, just get their information. Send them the link so they can be with us at 10:15 if they have time. And if they for whatever reason they don't make it, we can always send them the link. All right, and then I want you guys to understand, and I'm going to show you quickly. Okay, so right now I get 100% financing, and then I'll turn this over to you, Natalie. But I want to give them an idea. Okay, all those that are members here, this is what we utilize. I give you this chart. Let me open it real quick. We're going to go into, and Natalie, you know this because you see me do this all the time. Let me find it real quick. Okay, can you see that, everybody? All right. So we're going to go into my flip calculator. When you guys find a deal, right? Let's say you find something that is worth, when we put it on the market, we'll just say it's worth $900,000. I'm going to put it right here, everybody. Then what she does for me up here, she gives me 100% financing right there. Okay. And let's say that you found the deal for $575,000. I put it right there. Okay. And this project, it's going to take me about 5 months because I'm going to put up here, I'm going to put $90,000 into it. And you call me and you say, Angel, I found a great deal. Can you give me $25,000 a day it closes? How fast do you want me to close? You tell me 7 days. I said, absolutely. How much do you want? $25,000. I'm going to give you $25,000 a day we close. Then you tell me, Jerry goes, Angel, can I relist the house? How much do you want? Can you give me 2%? Let me see how much money I'm going to make. I'm going to make $106,000. Okay. If I can sell the property for 900, if you get it from me for 575, do it. You call me back. Jerry says, Angel, the client wants 625 after all. Okay, well, let me see if it's doable. At 625, I make 52,000. It's too tight, Jerry. Let me see. Maybe I won't give you the commission up here. I make $70,000. I'll tell you what, Jerry, I'll give you, if that's what they want here, I'm going to give you $20,000.
Okay.
Okay, Jerry says yes to that, right? And I make $75,000. This is how I make my extra money. Now, Jerry goes, Angel, I talked to the client. She says she'll give it to me for 450. I'm gonna put 450 right here. I'm gonna say, Jerry, I'm gonna give you two options. I'm gonna make $264,000. Jerry, you can partner up with me, or I can give you more money as an assignment. Which do you want, Jerry?
Let's go ahead and partner up.
Okay, so I'm going to take this out here. Okay, now I'm going to make $284,000 divided by two. Jerry will make half this money, guys. I'm going to stop there for a second. Okay, I'm going to look. I'm going to look at each one. I can't see some of you. Those that I can see, I really appreciate you guys. Okay, I can see Joe. I can see Carlos. I can see Jerry. I can see Ruben. Brian. Appreciate that. I can see. Hey, Caesar, be careful. You're driving. Richard. Right now, every single one of you, honestly, you're realtors. And each time you go to one of these listing firms, you don't realize you have an opportunity that you can buy it and keep it or turn around and flip it. Okay. Because if you don't do it, some of these clients, they don't want them houses on the market. I'm blown away. I always thought this is insane. And no matter how many times I tell somebody, they're adamant and they'll just take the cash. But you need to make sure you protect yourself. And that's in the implementation class, that's how I show you. You're going to go through the process of telling them so they don't turn around and sue you. And then your E&O insurance or your broker's insurance has to kick in. So when I do my write-ups and I buy these properties, I'm pretty well covered. All right. So with that said, I'm gonna turn this over to Natalie, and I want you guys to give her some energy because I want her to know to give you everything she has, and once she has some trust in you, she'll give you 100% financing. So you guys can come off speaker and say, "Welcome, Natalie." Natalie, come on, guys.
Welcome,
Welcome, Natalie.
Natalie! Welcome, Natalie!
Awesome.
Hey,
I know
Natalie,
it's,
that's a lot of welcomes. That's louder than I expected.
yeah, it's
Oh,
Monday morning.
but wait, I want them to see you what you look like. Hold on. I know they're looking at you in the camera. I did
Yeah.
a special slide for you. Here it
Oh
comes.
no. Oh
Here it
no.
is. Here she is. Look at that
Aw,
beautiful woman.
Yeah, cool. All right.
There she is. See? And look who she's standing with.
love.
If you guys know this guy. All right.
I
So,
gotta
and you
put the
know,
one of me and the CEO of Kiavi, Arvind. So I gotta throw that one in there now.
oh, you got another one? Well, send me the picture and I'll put it in here. So,
Yeah, no,
all
that's
right.
I sat down with the CEO, remember, and I said, look, these are the things we need to do and all that stuff. So, I mean, I just try to put myself in rooms, guys, where I'm learning, even from somebody like Angel, who's in the local market in the trenches. It's just so helpful because when you're surrounding yourself like you are right now on a Monday morning to get better, to listen, to sharpen the tools for 2026, it's important. I know it's cliche, we hear it all the time, get ready 2026, but it has started. It is hunting season and flip season right now. It is truly an amazing time to go hunt and go put offers, put ridiculous offers out there. Who cares, right? I mean, obviously it's got to make sense, but if you're putting offers out there and you're just trying to get something to stick, I'm sure you can figure it out where you can try to put a decent number out there. I mean, you know, I'm sure you get them on both sides, Angel, right? Where you're the listing agent and you just get ridiculous offers sent to you, for a fixer home or a home that's maybe not in turnkey shape.
I don't even know how some of these wholesalers lock up some of these properties that are
I
on the
know,
market for a low price. I go,
I know, I know.
wholesalers are more stronger deliverers than realtors. It blows me away.
Oh, I say it all the time. I'm in the wrong industry. I just need to be a wholesaler and wholesale $200,000 properties like 5 times a year, and I'm good.
But you know what? I gotta say, the wholesalers, they're the cream of the crop. They might have been realtors at one time and converted and walked over to the other side because they're just crushing it. What I'm trying to tell every single one of you is I'm not insulting you, but that's why for me, I was one of the ones getting crushed till I created the net sheet. I don't get crushed anymore. Now I
Yeah.
get the same opportunity, but I don't steal it. That's the difference, Natalie. These guys are stealing some of these properties. We're not.
Yeah, I mean, look, it comes with rapport. I think that's such a because you mentioned about your CRM, you mentioned about how the different types of tactics with the sellers and whatever, building your database, all that stuff, and that's why truly like it's so great to just learn all the different aspects because the financing is the easiest part. I've always said this. I do believe in it. When you find a great deal, trust me, if it's a great deal, everyone's fighting for it. Because everybody has a calculator at some point. And if you don't, I don't know if you're able to share that sheet with them if you haven't already, Angel. But that flip calculator is so important because it really does help you run the numbers and it really does help you have an idea. It's more than just I guess I'll introduce myself real quick. um, so I'm Natalie Bueno. I'm a hard money lender specialist. I've been working with some top banks, some top hard money banks, and some family offices and private money lenders. For those of you guys who don't know the difference, hard money is really institutionalized at this point. It's bought and sold through Wall Street. So when we hear the 100% financing, Wall Street is 100% involved because they understand the high risk, but they also understand the high reward on their side. What's in it for them? It's easy money. Somebody like Angel fits their profile. Amazing credit, amazing experience, pays on time. I mean, he's like laughing, saying, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe like I'm one of their top just because I make my payments." Again, if you have to chase payments, it's not the end of the world, right, with hard money, but it is annoying. And it's kind of like, it's almost like a progress report, like a school report where it's like, okay, so and so doesn't make their payments on time. We'll keep that noted for the future. Whereas Angel has a really clean record, and that goes a long way with getting exceptions. It goes a long way with fighting for a little bit more leverage, fighting for a discount on the rate, fighting for whatever it may be. So good credit, payment history, and then just the projects itself. Lenders and investors, we look at how it's going, and we also look at the end results too. Did they profit from it? Just because you get out of it doesn't mean you profit from it. So we look at, did they profit from it? How long did they hold it for? There's so much data that's provided, but that's going back to it is hard money banks. When you hear the hard money lenders that are giving 100% financing and 100% rehab money, 100% they're going to be institutionalized. They're through Wall Street. Then we have our little family offices. Those are smaller. Those are usually wealthy families that hire, they have enough money to hire a team. I think Angel's going to be a little family office pretty soon, personally. I'm just kidding. But he probably could go that route because it is exactly what it sounds like. When I was at Morgan Stanley, there were a lot of little, I wouldn't say little, but there's a lot of smaller family offices where they lend their own money, they control their own terms, and they basically invest in what they feel is going to make them some sort of return on their side. And they'll sometimes do rehab, sometimes they won't. They're very picky. A lot of them are local based. So if they're in Newport, they're only going to go certain radius, certain miles. And then we have a couple of family offices that are like West Coast state driven. And then we have our private money lenders. I'm sure you guys have heard of, raising private money, PMLs, right? There's all this terminology with it. I'm a private money lender. I will lend my money. Angel's a private money lender. He will lend his money, right? But we're only going to do it on deals that we like and we feel comfortable with. And you guys could be lending to each other and be private money lenders. So whether you're in first position or second position or third position, technically you can still be a private money lender. That's just your individual name or your individual entity. So for example, if I'm lending in my entity, right? And I can lend to another entity and put the terms together of being in second position and getting paid off within a certain period of time. Does that make sense? Your Uber
That's
driver
to me.
can be a private money lender.
Put it in the chat if it makes sense, guys. Yes or no? We like to make sure people are paying attention.
Yeah.
Yes.
I just like to
Yes,
go.
it
And
makes
then
sense.
there are foreign money lenders too, right? So there's obviously foreign money that comes in during the pandemic when everything shut down, including Wall Street. Family offices got nervous. Private money lenders were hesitant to lend from their retirement accounts. My only resource, and I was the only hard money lender to really still operate during the pandemic, was my foreign money lenders because they weren't scared. So, it helps to have resources because even though they're the most expensive and they charge an arm and a leg and they'll send the baseball bat if people don't make their payments, um, they are there if we need them, right? They're there for land, they're there for burnt down homes that maybe the people are, the other lenders are going to be scared of. They'll take it. So that's kind of like, I like to break down where resources come from. And then when it comes to 100% financing, like I said, the easiest part is the financing. Because when Angel was just showing that example of picking up a property for 585 or 545, whatever it was, I was doing the calculation on my end, and he was actually above 100% financing. That's how good of a deal. If the ARV, the after repair value, was really 900,000, right? And somebody like Angel, I do trust his judgment. I do trust his marketing because it is super important to really comp it right. If you're going off of the best comp and you're like, well, there's one that sold right on the same street and you're banking on that one comp, good luck. You can't bank on just one comp these days. You have to really, really be conservative with that ARV, that resale value. It's so important to not put all your eggs and bank on the fact that it could be 900,000. If there's a comp for 850, you need to go with like maybe 870. I mean, personally, if I'm able to make a deal work, I'll even price it at 850 just to see where it could be worst case scenario, right? So it's really, really important that you comp things right. It's important that you plug everything in for your rehab. Rehab is not just flooring. It's not just the labor to pay, to take the cabinets out and put new cabinets in and put your appliances in. It's more than that. It's property taxes, it's insurance, it's um stuff you might not have accounted for, right? I'm sure, Angel, there's been properties where you guys walk them, you think you have a really good idea, and then something else happens, right? Where you're like, oh, well, now we got to plan for that. So, um, sorry, I'm battling a little cold, but I'm better now. But just so you guys know, like, it's really put a cushion in there, and I think that's what you and Kevin really do a great job about, Angel, is cushioning that rehab.
So
Because
I'll give you a good example on what you're saying. We bought the one here in La Habra, right? We bought it for, we just sold it for 900. I think we bought it for 600. I think we put 110 into it, and the return on it is like $95,000. So I'm gonna put this 620. Okay. But that one, Kevin, when I was only going to make like 70, but Kevin just told me we're going to be close to about 100. And I split it with him. But we bought another one on Harbor, everybody, the unexpected. He already had budgeted, and we budgeted $30,000 for the foundation. It only cost us $16,000. So the profit, we made room for that error, but it turned out to be a positive thing because we over budgeted and it came in under. So we're going to make an extra $15,000. I think that's what you're referring to, right,
yes,
Natalie?
absolutely. And the thing is you see this rehab right there? If we can go back to it real quick. Sorry. If you see the rehab there for 115,000, here's the thing with the hard money institutional banks. If you put in your rehab that you want to borrow rehab, we give up to 100% rehab if it makes sense, right? And if 110 is factored in there, let's just say that it went the opposite way, that you only budgeted $16,000 for foundation and it ended up being 30,000. And if they came back to me, Angel and Kevin came back to me and they said, oh, can you increase the rehab to 125,000, Natalie? We actually realized that foundation's worse than what we thought. I cannot do that. When the loan is set, it's set. The terms are set. Okay, you sign loan docs, we recorded. We cannot add and modify your rehab budget to increase to 125,000. That's why it's so important to cushion and to kind of be conservative with that rehab, because if you do need to come back and say, oh my goodness, we weren't expecting this, at least you have it to work off of, right? Whereas now they're in a good position where it was only 16,000. Now they just, guess what? They don't have to submit a receipt. All they have to do is submit an invoice, and they're going to get reimbursed. It's legal, by the way. It's not like they're lying about it, but they're going to get reimbursed the 30,000 that they had set aside for the foundation, and they can put that towards a payment. They can put that towards another piece of the property, whatever they want, right? Because they're so experienced that this lender trusts who they are and what they're doing. They're like, whatever, figure out wherever you want to place that money on your next line item, or put it in reserves towards your payments. So that's why the rehab budget is so important too. And I always say your crew is so important. Trusting, if you're going to work with a general contractor, your handyman, whoever it may be, if you're going to not finance it, if you're going to self rehab it, if you're handy and you're great, amazing. But I don't see a lot of that these days, just because I think it's so time consuming, number one, and number two, it does put a lot of risk on you too, right? When you're going and doing showings and people are like, hey, who did this? What's wrong with this? And it's like, it really falls back on you. So it really helps to have an experienced crew. I'm sure we could do another segment on that another time if needed, or whatnot. But when it comes to the financing, again, a good deal is a good deal. We're going to reward those that have the experience. Obviously, we're going to reward good credit, and we're going to reward people that are trustworthy and make their payments on time and pay off on time. So I will say this, just to be very transparent, because you know how I am, Angel, I'm very upfront. 100% financing is not for everyone. It really is not. It is a unicorn. It's out there. We go up to it. So it's gonna, it is hard to come by. Is it possible? Absolutely. And if somebody like Angel's guiding you and can show you, hey, that's a good deal,
I was about to say that.
then you're going to be in good hands, right? And he's going to qualify for it. So if you want, maybe you don't have great credit, maybe you don't have the experience, but you found an amazing deal, well, partner up with Angel or get paid a nice assignment fee that's going to be financed in the deal, because either way, there's ways to make money. There are so many different ways to make money. And if it's not going to be, hey, I don't have time for a partnership because it's not for everybody, an assignment fee is quick, it's easy, and guess what? $20,000 just to say, hey, listen, I found an amazing deal. You believe it or not, some people just don't want to get stuck in a 6 month hold time. They want that money and they want it now. $10,000, $50,000, and we finance that in the loan. How amazing is that? So when we finance the assignment fee inside the loan, because somebody like Angel already qualifies and he's already set and approved, pre-approved, that assignment fee, as long as it's being payable to an entity through this program, it's easy. Okay. It's less than 2 weeks you will get paid. So,
So
I mean,
I'm gonna recap. I'm gonna recap everybody real quick. So I'll give you an idea. So let's just say that we found a property that the value was $900,000. $900,000. But we pick it up for 500. That's a unicorn. 10% down would be $50,000. Okay. Let's just say my rehab for simplicity was $50,000. Now I need $100,000. And let's just say that I'm going to give Carlos $25,000 for the assignment fee. Now I'm into it for $125,000, but there's enough meat in there that it all goes back into where, they finance the whole thing. Now I'm not going to mislead you guys. I do have to use a little bit of my money because when the project starts, I got to have the money to do the first installment for whoever's going to do the work. So like on this deal here, I'll scroll down. It shows you what my fees are. Okay. When I buy the property, it shows you the cost of holding, I believe, when I'm buying this property, it shows me the cost when I'm going to turn around and sell it and list it with the realtor, right? Or the buyer's agent's commission, and it totals it all for me. In the end, I'm going to scroll down to the bottom. In the end, I needed still $58,000 out of my pocket. So it's 100% financing, but I still needed some cash up front. And some of this comes back to me because some of this is some of the money that I utilized to start the work. Okay. So for many of you to do this on your own, if you're going to do it for the first time, you can screw up. I see people
yeah.
go under all the time,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
They get a project, they're in trouble. Now they're calling me. Hey, can you get me out of this? Well, dude, you listened to the wrong party. I've seen
Mhm.
people where they bought a property, they thought they were doing something, they got a contractor. Natalie told you right now, but that contractor doesn't care about you because you found a contractor that says, yeah, the project's going to be 75,000. But when you start to talk to the contractor, he says, oh, you got to replace the windows. Well, give me cheap brand windows. Oh, no, you can't. You need Anderson windows. Next thing you know, your 75 went to double the price, 150. Now you're in the negative. And I see this happen over and
All the
over.
time.
I went to a listing appointment and I was talking to the gentleman. We're about to list another one here in La Mirada. He has his own contractor. I'm not talking bad about the contractor because he's pushing us, but he was going to replace the windows. And I said, we can put non-branded windows. He goes, oh no, you got to put these quality windows. We went from $10,000 to $35,000 in windows. And me and my partner looked and, well, we better sell it the way that it is. Point being is you guys got to be careful when you're buying these flips. Okay. Sorry, Natalie. I just
No,
wanted to laugh.
no, that's 100%. There's the two biggest mistakes that I see with flipping. Number one is the ARV, the resale value, not being realistic about price. And number two is really being too tight with your rehab money. So, and like Angel said, not having a cushion to come in, knowing that just because we finance 100% financing doesn't mean you are out of the woods and you're just going to be, oh, I'm not putting a penny down on this property. You still have to go in with the mentality that, yes, I need to start the initial rehab. Okay, so the way that the draws work, that's a great transition to back to the rehab, is I have a spreadsheet and I can share it too with you, Lily, if you want to share it with them. It's a template and it breaks down line items. So that's great that we know it's 110,000 to fix up a property. What does that entail? Okay, we have kitchen, we have demo, we have bathrooms, we have um yard, right? And it's not even that hard where I have to put bushes and this, like it's just
Landscaping, roof,
roof, yes. And roof can be roof repair, it can be,
electrical, plumbing.
yeah,
So
electrical, plumbing,
it's all here,
exactly.
guys. You can see there.
Perfect. Perfect. That's Kevin's, yeah.
You know, you got a 5 bedroom house. You just stick it in there. Bathrooms, 3 bathrooms. The square footage 2,500, and then he starts to calculate what are you going to do. This
So do
gives you
you
an idea.
do you guys see how systems really help too, right? Because it helps to plug this all in. I know it takes work. I know it's annoying if you might not even get the deal and you still have to do something like this. I used to think the same way, but at the same time, when I started putting systems in place for even being the lender, putting systems in place when I was the investor, putting systems in place as the landlord, it makes my life so much easier because then I'm able to just go in, modify it, and then submit it, right? Same thing with this. It's so important because we do pay attention to your line items. And, I will say this, can we modify it, tweak it a little bit? I've had people where they wanted to put a hot tub in, they decided to go against it after all, and they use that money to go to other parts of the home. Sure. Do I see it happen all the time? No. And it depends on which analyst is going to review that too. It depends on what mood they're in, so quite honestly. So, we don't always count on that. And I will tell you that when you set this up, it is almost pretty final. So again, even if you feel like demo, it might be closer to 4,000, bump it up to 5K, right? Maybe you need that extra trash haul at the end, right? Always just kind of put a little buffer in there. And as you guys get more familiar with it and you build more rapport with your crew, with your contractor, whoever it is, your handyman, you're going to have a better sense of how much it's going to cost for a 3 bedroom, 2 bath home versus a 2-2 versus a 4-3, right? And then there's value add. I mean, there's so many different ways to make a property better than what it was. It's more than just, hey, I'm putting a new kitchen and new bathrooms in, because obviously kitchens and bathrooms sell, right? That hasn't changed. But there are properties where I've seen Angel and Kevin be very successful, where there was enough square footage in the home and they added a half bathroom to it and they've added more value to it.
Everybody, what I want you to what I want you to be clear about is, because this is what's going to happen. You are at a listening appointment. The client is telling you that they're going to go with seller's advantage, and because they're bringing them a cash offer. You need to be able to be in a position to run numbers for them, what seller's advantage is going to do them. So you use that flip chart to show them seller's advantage is basically not telling you the truth. They're telling you going to offer you $500,000, but the house is only worth X amount of dollars. What seller's advantage is going to do, if you guys don't know who they are, they're huge. They're going to turn around and sell it to another investor. They're not keeping it. Half the time they sell it to someone else.
Yep.
So during your listing presentation, if you're able to present numbers and you have an idea what it cost for rehabbing, and that's why I'm bringing her to you, because I explain it to you guys all the time, but now you know how the back end works. Somebody asked, what is the interest rate and for on the 100% financing? You can always call Natalie, all of you on the side, and ask her those
Higher.
questions. Yeah, but it is higher. But when you calculate those numbers in, if you're going to be buying the deal, you see if it makes sense. If each one of you did an extra flip, or not an extra, did a 3 flips in a year, right? But you need help. You can't do this on your own. It really becomes a full-time job.
Oh, yeah.
My son walks in here now in shorts and baseball cap. He's a realtor, and I tell him, dude. You guys heard me say this all the time. I go, dude, aren't you a realtor? He goes, oh no, I'm a contractor now. Because it's much funner when you're putting these deals together. Being a realtor takes a lot of energy. Point being is this: if you're able to do both, get a partner, your wife, your husband, your son, someone who you can delegate to, as we should be doing in your real estate business. I delegate a lot of my stuff. I think I did 6 listing appointments this week, and I delegated. I only went to 3, while the others went to the other ones because they're so damn far. I'm not driving to Rancho. I'm not driving to LA. Same with the flipping side. So right now, if you did an extra of 3 flips a year and it gave you 75,000, let's go worse, $50,000. Okay, that's an extra $150,000 of income. You don't spend that money. You put it away. You
Yep.
do another 2 next year. Now you got $300,000 in your bank account. You go buy some more real estate, everybody. You're all young. Doesn't matter what age you are, but you just keep accumulating real estate, which gives you back a return on your money. You see how it all ties in together? So here in this community, thank you, Natalie. What I do is I show you guys how to get that listing appointment. And if there's a flip opportunity in there somewhere, it'll come out. And sometimes it's not even at the house you're going to, it's something else they have. I'm so embarrassed. I have this little house here in Whittier, and my mom left it to me and she started taking it apart, and we can't get, I don't know what to do. Oh, that's how these things come out. But Natalie, can you explain something to them? If somebody needs to mute themselves, I can hear somebody in the background. Natalie, right now, you, for example, give us 100% financing. But previously, for the majority, the property itself that they buy, it's not them, our audience. Yes, they got to qualify for it. But when they go to the property and it has a lot of meat, and what I mean by a lot of meat is a lot of equity,
Mhm.
right? And it's not that bad. It's got a kitchen, it's got a bathroom, it's financeable, right? Everything is kind of basically, it's just really dated, really old, maybe some roaches, maybe some rodents. Would they are they qualifying for it? Is it the property that would qualify for it?
Oh, a
Does that make
combination
sense?
of both. Good, great question. So with 100% financing, it is always going to be qualifying the property. And again, that ARV is everything for us, right? Because we are really looking at those comps. And we narrow down our comps in the last 90 days. We get really tight with it, okay? We look at the last 90 days. And the way that the hard money lenders look at it is not even based on similar of 3.2s and 3.2s. If it's a 3.1 and it's the same square footage, we actually prefer looking at the same square footage style home versus the same bedroom bath count. So I want that to really resonate, because it's the total square footage that's really important that we look at of the home. Lot
So
sizes, don't care. Okay. And people tell me all the time, well, you can build an ADU on it. Amazing. Flippers don't care unless you're actually financing your ADU, which we do, by the way. So that's almost like a little bit of a ground up construction deal. And so for flipping, straight up flipping, we do not care if it's buildable to build units in the back or whatever, right? Unless it's permitted square footage, that is the only way that the lender is going to pay attention to that. Okay. I get it all the time. This is a bonus room. This is a guest house. Kevin does an amazing job where he tells me this is a bonus room, but it's not permitted square footage, but I know I can market it. But that's just, that's for the ARV, but I can't use the square footage. Okay, cool. We'll go off of that. Or sometimes we will, if our numbers are tight, he'll put in there that he intends to make it permitted square footage, and if he gets to it, he gets to it, and if he doesn't, he doesn't, right? So we can be creative. We're going to help push, but it's the last 90 days, the square footage, and they do like it to be less than a mile radius. Okay. If it's on the left-hand side of the 210 freeway on the west side, they do not want to see a property that's going to be on the right, on the east side of the 210, right? Like, or 110, sorry. It's just like, let's try to make it as much of apples to apples as we can, because that's what they're paying attention to. Units are off right now. That's a new one, Angel. They are capped at 85% no matter what. Even if you find an amazing deal, 2, 3, 4 units, not 5, anything that's a duplex, triplex, or fourplex, they've been burnt so badly the last few years with units and tenants not moving out and all this stuff, that they're just capped at 85%. That's the highest they're going to go right now. And that's kind of the best I'm seeing across the board. I do have a few other partners that might leverage 90% on those, but they better very be clean, no rent control, no cash for keys, none of that stuff. Okay. So
I'm going to
units
share
get
this with everybody. The reason I deal with Natalie, and it's more, I delegate. So Kevin really deals with her a lot, and we can call Natalie for a question that we have no clue where we're at, what we're doing, and she gives us the information that I'm looking for. Not to mention, we were talking about this because there was a partner that was giving us 100% financing, but we had to do all the work.
yeah.
Okay. We had to do all the work. And I think that's how this started, Natalie. You went to those partners and because they were going to deal directly with them. A lot of people were, and they just didn't want to do that anymore. And Natalie, when she puts our packages together, she gives back some good information that can help us rerun those numbers. Maybe we missed something. And that's the kind of partner that I'm looking for. And that's the kind of partner you guys should be looking for. If you're looking for someone to help you, that can give you some direction. So if you guys have a deal and you want to go without me, it's fine. You can always call Natalie and she'll help you and she'll walk you through. It's always a good idea to get two or three opinions. There's other people that we deal with out there, but they don't return my call. Maybe they don't like Kevin or myself, right? As quickly, or they have their favorites. Everybody has their favorites. Maybe I'm Natalie's favorite. I don't know.
You guys
Okay.
are. You guys are great. And I do love discussing the deals because I'll analyze them with you guys. And it's not a problem. And that's why I said units were capped. And then just going back to the math real quick, I really want to highlight the math on the 100% financing. So we go up to 75% of ARV. We're one of the strongest out there. Most hard money lenders are going to be at 70. Okay. Most even private money lenders, family offices, foreign money lenders, they're going to be capped at 70% of that 900,000 resale value. We are at 75%. That extra 5% really helps make or break leverage. So when Kevin and I discuss it, we're like always like, okay, well, what if we shorten rehab to this? What if we can push that resale value to this? What if we can knock off the purchase price? And that helps with the negotiation skills for what you're willing to offer, by the way. So for example, if I'm at 75% times 900,000, and I have to factor in rehab too, by the way. So 75% times 900,000, we're at 675, okay? So 675 minus the 110 that you guys have right there for rehab. Now I'm at 565. Okay. And if anybody needs me to ever go over this formula with you, I'm always more than happy to do it. So 565 divided by the 620. Now I'm at 91. Do you see how it went from a $500,000 purchase to 620? That's still a good deal, by the way. Even at 620, you're getting 90%. You're coming in with 10% down. But now that Kevin and Angel are like exposed to 100%, it's like, why not go try to get 100% every time, right? But don't let it consume you either, because 90% is still great. And if it's going to get you in and out and you're still going to make $90,000 there on that profit, that's still amazing. That's still
Natalie,
okay.
when you brought that one to my attention, here's what Kevin saw. Sometimes there's some that the seller just wants cash, but really we just put it back on the market and there's money. So depending on where it's at, Natalie, I told Kevin, find me Whittier ones because I want a brand Whittier La Harbor La Mirada. Just
Of course.
even if it's just enough to go in, and we got our first one. Freaking Kevin decided to go golfing. We didn't call the guy back, and they sold it to someone else for $2,500 more. I was. Yes, Kevin, we lost maybe because it was a quick in and out, maybe like $55,000.
Which one was that? Oh, that was the
La
wood.
Mirada.
Oh,
La
okay.
Mirada.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I have Maritza, Amy, Caesar, Brittany, Nathan, Brianna, and Greg. I think I got those names right. At 10:15, I have the class that I want to invite you guys. But just to recap, for those of you that are new here, what are the
Wait,
ways that
I feel like you forgot something very important. I've been waiting to jump in. You
oh,
guys, First of all, like Natalie said, if you're inexperienced with, wholesales and fix and flips and you want to get into that, again, we are your cash buyers, we are your partners, we want to work with you, we actually care and we know what we're doing. So, like I showed you guys, we have the submit a deal portal. So, if you go to a listing appointment and someone's looking for a cash buyer, we are your cash buyers. Let us know how much they're looking for. We'll run the numbers with you. If it's a good deal and we decide to work with you, not only are you going to get an assignment fee, but if we relist a property, we give you the opportunity to be the listing agent to relist. So that's an additional approximately 2% on top of that. So you're getting double. I call it like a double bonus. So you guys, if you guys want to get into this and you guys have questions, feel free to reach out. We'll walk you through the deals. We've had multiple realtors here that have brought us some deals and we worked with them and they were very happy with their results.
Yeah, and this is our portal when you guys come in to
Can
submit a deal.
you click on
See,
the submit a deal again?
there it is. This is
Just
where
go
you send
down.
the
Besides the property. Okay, yeah. So we have purchase, rehab amount, ARV. Perfect. That's exactly what I need too. So what you guys are going to submit there, that's exactly what I need to know is the exact same bare minimum to know what kind of financing we can leverage.
Damn. Now, I was going to show everybody this, guys. This is why when you go to the appointment, all you that are members or implementation, this is it right here. When you go and meet with the client, this is part of the presentation. If the client wants an offer for $560,000, right? And let's just say that it was on the market, you can sell it for $900,000. I explained to the client, look, are you sure? You're letting $286,000 go. I could sell this on the market for 900 and you're gonna sell it to that investor for 560. He says, yes. I tell him, okay, well, I'll offer you 580. Okay, I'll offer you 580. At least you'll get a little bit extra money. She goes, I don't care, just give it. When can I have my check? And that's how I went into opportunities all the time. So during this presentation, Brian, you know how we do this, Jerry, you know how we do this. We run ads. Or when you go to the appointment, you're going to present by showing the client the 6 different prices to get their body language. And in here's where you input the numbers. When you're done with that, you go into capital gains. You explain to them, even though you're not supposed to, but you want to make sure you get it all covered. Then you show them if you put this back on the market, how much you're going to make and what a payment's going to be for a buyer. When you're done with this, they trust you so much. They're not going to go with the investor. They're going to choose you as your realtor. And somewhere along the line, family member may call them and say, my wife, my dad, my mom says that you're ripping off my dad, my father, my parent, whoever it would be. Then you'd be able to say, no, look, I recorded it. I was trying to tell your parents we should put it back on the market. And I start breaking down the numbers. Then the family member goes, oh my God, wow. I got you confused with someone else. Okay, move forward. Now I gotten the family's permission, and that's how I come across so many damn deals. So during this community, this is what we're going to teach you. Now our ads are actually cash offer ads. I don't know if you've seen Homelight runs over and over, simple sale, simple sale. I put my house on the market, I got top dollar, and I didn't have to have any open houses. That's Homelight. If you guys know who it is, Google them, $1 billion company. So in this community,
I also met that CEO too.
you need everybody. Is Maritza, Amy, Caesar, Brittany, Nathan, Brianna, and Greg still on? Tell me in the chat if you are. Okay, let me see. And then someone asked while we were here, let me see, there's questions in the chat that I don't think you answered.
Yeah, I'm going to answer them real quick. So out of state, yes, needs to be a well-known area. We're not doing in the middle of Kansas of a city we've never heard of. I'm just being transparent. So that, and it still needs to make sense. We're still going up to 75% of ARV, even in out of state. So we definitely do that. Interest rate will fluctuate. It depends on the credit. It depends on the leverage. It can be as high as 12% and it can be as low as 10%. Points, you guys are coming through Angel's specific program. Angel is somebody that, like I said, we've been working with, and we always appreciate the partnership. We are going to be very competitive, and we're going to be at 1.5 total points. So normally it's at least 2.5 for 100% financing or 90% financing. So we're still being very aggressive with it. Somebody asked about a non-recourse loan. You are always going to be a personal guarantor when you're getting high leverage financing. Okay. So if people ask me all the time, what does that mean? That means that if you don't pay back your loan, they have the right to go after your assets. And if that means a primary home, if that means a nice car that you have in your name, they will 100% go after it if necessary. I've seen people get their watches repoed. I've seen people get cars repoed. So just don't be in that situation. Like I said, make more smart decisions and you'll be okay. And you know what? If you're ever in a pinch and you can't make a payment or you feel like things are going sideways with the loan, give me a call. Because if you work with me, I promise this isn't just a pitch. It really gives me the opportunity to talk it out, figure out a solution, how we approach it, and then basically how we communicate with the lender, whoever it is, whether it's hard money, private money, whoever. Because the worst thing you can do is just go silent and ignore it. It's like a medical bill. Like it's going to keep coming in no matter what. You have to figure out how to make a payment or when you plan to pay it off. And then somebody asked about loan to cost LTC. Yeah, it's very similar, I mean, as LTV. So that's really, we can go over that in detail, but that's not a big deal. And then somebody asked about what about your bill? Yeah, that factors in a little bit. Again, we're qualifying the property more than we are at the than the person, but that doesn't scare us if we see an old home because we know that you're going to renovate it. And as long as we can see the interior and have access to it at some point, we'll have a better idea of that. And somebody said, if I can't find comps in the last 6 months, do you go over a mile away? No. There's two reasons why you can't find comps in the last 6 months. Number one, it's not that great of an area if it's not similar. Or number two, it's so desirable of an area that nobody wants to leave. It's one or the other, right, Angel? Because like you're not finding comps within 6 months of a well-known area. I don't know. That's interesting to me.
Hey, Natalie, how do we contact you?
Yes. So my socials are at Bueno Loans, and I can type it here on the chat.
That'll
I'll
work.
give you guys my phone number and my email. I do have a baby and he's sick right now. So just text me, please, because I'm sure Angel gets it worse than me. The amount of spam calls is like insane these days. Please. I when Lily texted me, I was like, thank God, because I get so many 909 spam calls right now. I don't know why 909 and
We all
specifically,
are. We all are right now. I mean, everybody's trying to sell us realtor services like crazy right now.
and then the remote job and the fake Amazon tax.
Yes.
I can't deal with all of it.
uh,
Just
nah,
text
this
me. I promise when we say like, hey, I'm coming through Angel, and then that also helps me. And like Angel said, he's very transparent. If you don't want to work with him on a deal, you don't have to. But I do highly recommend considering partnering up because especially if you're new, because it's just trust me, like you don't want to do it blind. It's the worst thing to do it blind. I did my first deal with my dad, and I'm so happy I did because I'm a lender and I should know things by now. But even as the investor, I was like, what the heck? Why did I get the supplemental property taxes on this thing? Why did I get this? Why is the Compton water rate so high? Why is this? And my dad's like, oh my God, she's so new. So it's really helpful just to have somebody who's been there, who knows some names, who's been in the trenches for sure.
Everybody, those of you that are new, go here. Okay, and you can access my portal. I have the net sheet. I have everything in there. Every class I do, it's in there. So just go in here, slide down if you're new. By the way, those of you that are my members, please invite people. This is how you will grow, I will grow, and we're trying to build the social media side of it. So when you go into the portal, basically, I don't want your money, but I want to know who's in there. So we give you access, and if you like the community, you stay on. And it's $99 a month. But I show you how to flip, how to list. I give you my net sheet. I show you how to generate listings the way I do. If you Google me right now, Angel and Patty Hernandez, right? I got what, 132 in the last 12 months. I've sold 2,900 homes in the last 12 years. And this is my current inventory. And most agents that speak, they don't have inventory. And this is my flip. You're looking at my flip. You're looking at these
Yep.
are my listings, right? So I'm real. It's interesting that people listen to people that are not even in our industry.
I
I'm
know.
actually doing this shit, right?
I
And
know.
when I tell people, they don't think, I don't believe, they don't believe me, but yet the numbers are there. So when you join the community, basically the new one I got everybody, and that's what the 1015 class is. It's social media. Man, it's taken off like crazy, and I never capitalized. I got 150,000 followers, but I don't make money off of it. Now I'm learning from somebody else, Tatiana London, how to capitalize on that. And I'm bringing that to the community, and I created something similar so we can all put our stuff in there at 1015, and the monthly members too. So now we can convince the analytics, the algorithm to start taking this up, which now will include flips. When you're talking about flips, when people are looking, how do I get cash money for my house? They're going to find you on social media. All right.
And I just want to recap really quick on what joining the listing agent community looks like. So joining the listing agent community, you get instant access to the Go High Level CRM. So it's your own CRM, not your company CRM. You get to put some data in there, call,
Here.
text, email. So within the Go High Level CRM, you can create a landing page and run some Google ads to get some seller leads. You also get classes like today's on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays at 9 a.m. You get to watch the recorded classes on our school portal. We have 8 social media posts that you can download and post on your social media with the writing content. And we also give you like 200 different social media ideas that you guys can create yourself. And you get this amazing community. So
Check this out.
14 days
This
for
is my,
free.
see the little button? Natalie, I think I showed you my CRM. Look, but everybody else I have. This is my help button.
I need to take your CRM class.
These are all the leads. Look, these are all the leads that my team is following up on, right? And you can see as they come in, we had, I think, like 15 leads that came in over the weekend. And when I click here, right, I have Google leads. So where are you? Right here, Google leads. It tells me what came in, and you can see December 12th, December 7th, December the 5th, December 3rd. These are all leads that are coming in through my Google. But the world isn't perfect, guys. I also track what I lost, right? Let me see. Lost listings. All right. Let's see if I lost any lately.
And
November
we
the
did create
19th.
a link in the chat as well. If you have any questions regarding the implementation or our free trial, you can click on the link to book a quick 30-minute call with our partner, Brian.
I'm I'm looking at each one of you. I can see you, Larry. You should be crushing this, Larry. Come on. Javier, Tony, Joe, each one of you, honestly, if you guys really concentrate, because you've chosen this career to be a realtor, you might as well flip. So those of you that are in my community, thank you. My goal is to make sure I get you to the level that you need to be. Okay. And those that are fresh and not here, guys, 2026 is around the corner. You only got 2 weeks left. I would encourage you to join the community and collaborate with some of the people here if you need some help, but don't drain each other. You're not going to sit there and say, "Oh, I got no listings." Oh, you're going to try to figure out what you need to do to make sure your 2026 becomes amazing. All right. Let me tell you something. It feels so good. It feels so good. I don't mean this in a bad way, to be able to buy what I want, guys. It feels good, right? If my son who's 24, he doesn't know this, he's not here right now. I'm going to give him a Rolex. Okay. I gave each one of my sons a Rolex, right? When they turn a certain age, as long as they see they're doing what they're supposed to do. You imagine if you can do that for your family? Think about that. Okay. Get your wife what she wants. It feels good something for yourself, but don't forget to buy real estate. And the only way this is going to happen is you guys got to kick yourself in the ass. Join the community. Those of you that are here right now that are members and are not the implementation, you've been trying to do this on your own. And if you've been with me for a year, what the F are you doing? You might as do the implementation. And if I can't get you where you need to be in 2 months, right, I'll give you your money back. As long as you go the accountability box, you got to check off each thing to make sure you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. Brian, no, you're not. I'm not going to give you your money back, Brian. You're already doing good stuff, Brian Alvarado. All
And
right.
I just want to thank the listing agent community for being a valued member here. Because of you, Angel continues to do what he loves. If not, he would have retired and I would be
I
without a job.
was, remember, till
You're
everybody see
never
the
going to
videos.
retire.
Natalie,
You will never retire.
He thought
You
about
know
it,
what?
and then he got testimonials, and he's like, "Oh, my heart, I make a difference. I'm gonna keep doing what I do because I love it."
Seriously, because I kept asking, did you guys get something? And nobody was saying anything. And finally, I pointed out, Brian, thank you for your video. Yours was one of the ones that, it touched me. I thought, shit, man, I appreciate you guys. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to keep going. All right. So here we are. All right. Does anybody have questions for Natalie besides for some of you? Let me see. I
I
think that
think
those were all my
somebody asked about the
questions.
term. It is a 1-year term. Pretty standard, 12 months, no prepayment penalty. What that means is that if you guys paid it off in 2 weeks, amazing. You don't even make a payment. What else? Somebody asked about Texas. Yes, we'll do parts of Texas again, not doing in the middle of Texas of an area I've never heard of. And it still has to qualify. Okay, so properties still have to make sense.
I had a question. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
What about extensions? You mentioned a 1-year term. Here in Los Angeles, we're notorious for having building and safety take a long time to approve,
Sure.
and or contractors, disappearing and have to restart. What about extensions? Is
Yes.
there? Tell me about that.
Again, have to be eligible for an extension. So you would have to be in good standing. If you're 90 days behind and you are on and off and not making payments, then no, they're not going to extend for somebody that doesn't pay on time or isn't
Right,
making payments.
Well, give me a little bit more clarity. Assume that you were on time. I'm on time. I'm just not done yet.
Okay.
Is there a cost? Is there a point cost? Because I have a.
It's
Tell
going to
me more
vary.
about that.
It's good. And if you want, we could talk about if there's a deal specifically offline, but it's going to vary. It's most lenders are going to offer 3-month extensions. That's kind of like a standard package that they will usually offer. And they usually charge, I don't know, it ranges between a point to 2 points. It depends on the lender. And, and honestly, it depends on how much they want that money back. And how much is lent out. I had a guy that was borrowing $2 million for a West Hollywood deal. So his was more expensive than somebody with a $200,000 loan. So that, it is going to kind of fluctuate on that. And then somebody asked about Detroit. Yes, we will do Detroit. Baltimore is a little off limits right now. There was a lot of fraud in Baltimore lately. So that's random, but Baltimore is on hold right now.
All right, Natalie. I want everybody to scream it out. But before I do that, Maritza, if you're still there, Amy, Caesar, Brittany,
Central Florida,
Nathan,
yes.
Brianna, and Greg, go ahead and join us right now. You don't want to miss the 10:15 class. But everybody, you got 42 people left here, so they were still interested. They want to hear it. Can everybody say thank you, Natalie?
Thank you, Natalie.
Thank you, Natalie.
I put my
Thank
contact
you.
info.
Thank you.
I put my contact info. Contact me if you guys have any questions.
Thank you,
Thank
New
you.
Natalie.
new
Natalie,
members,
thank
I
you.
sent you the link to our class privately, so check your chat and click on the link now to join.
Thank you, Natalie. I appreciate you. Keep making me some money.
Of course.
Well, we're
Vice
making each
versa.
other money. All right.
All
Natalie,
right. Bye, guys.
you're more than welcome. I know you got to tend to your baby, but if you want to join me at 10:15, you're more than welcome to join us. Lily, send her the link and we'll leave it up to her. All
Yeah,
right.
send it to me. Thank you.
Bye,
Okay,
everybody.
bye
I'll see you at
everybody. Have a
10:15.
good day.
Bye.